Welcome back, everybody, to an episode of Big Apple Hockey, a post-game episode, and we're joined once again by some guests, and we're going to be having two more coming on very soon. We got Joey from Ice Cold Takes Pod and Matt from Rangers Central. Guys, welcome back. It is always great having these shows with you guys and talking about this series. My goodness, guys, what a series that this is already so far. Because I mean, strike game one for the record. I mean, the last two games, it just shows how tough this series is going to be. Because let's get to the headlines. That the New York Rangers win today, 5-4 in overtime. Alexander Wennberg with the game winner at 5:35 remaining. And I'll flash some of the other stats. Like, of course, ESPN guys had to talk about the 97 shot attempts and going all the way over to Barclay Goodrow and his 2 goals. Suddenly, he's Wayne Gretzky all of a sudden. Or actually, we had a good trivia question on the other day. Let's bring Evan in right now. And it was the 2 players with the most goals in postseason history. You guys got them, right?
What was it again?
Single season, post-game goals.
Postseason. Single postseason.
Yeah, postseason.
And this was winners or just goals?
Just goals.
Just goals?
Just goals.
Gretzky?
No.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Okay. Yari Curry, because of Gretzky.
Okay.
And Reggie the Rifle Leach in, I believe it was 76 with the Philadelphia Flyers. The only player to win the Conn Smythe and not the Stanley Cup and not be a goaltender. So,
wow.
Evan, welcome back from your stream.
What's going on? We got Wife Beater D here, which is an interesting site. Wife Beater D, Rally Bucket M. But I'm just, I don't even know what to say still from this game. It's just like, it's somebody different every night stepping up for this team. It's somebody different every night. And Wennberg, who's been driving us insane with not being able to bury it, Barry's probably the most important one possible. And yeah, I'm getting close to apologizing to Barclay Goodrow myself.
That's on,
yeah, I already
that's
made
on
the
par
apology.
with the "We'll never I can die in peace."
Yeah.
I am sorry, Barclay Goodrow. Yo, for if you listen to the radio call, Maloney did not step on Don's call in overtime, surprisingly. All he said, though, was, boy, I'll tell you, folks, call the cops because the Rangers just got away with robbery here. And for real, they did. What were the shot attempts? Like 97-36 in favor of Florida?
Yeah, it was I
Yeah.
just marked down the 97 shot attempts for Florida in this game.
And
But Shesterkin only had to make 34 saves, so 38 of them hit the net.
yeah, the Rangers blocked, I think it was on MSG's post game, it said 36 or 37 blocks. So crazy. All that pressure in the third period. I believe the attempts in the third period alone, 41 for Florida, 10 for the Rangers. The Rangers, again, had no business winning this game, and they had a 4-2 lead in it. A 4-2 lead going into the third period, and they shouldn't have won the game, which is crazy. That was easily, actually, I don't even know if that was worse. That's probably, would you guys say it's worse than Game 5 against Carolina?
Oh no, this was worse.
Yeah, this was honestly worse.
Really worse.
Yeah,
They were getting physically beat down too. It's not even like it was just with Carolina. It was kind of just an ass beating. With this, it was like physically too. They were getting beat down. But I freaking Barclay Goodrow right now. It's just the only if we're gonna go positive D approach here, the only positive he could take is they won the game, played like garbage. You got to figure they're gonna play better next game, and if they could play even just half good next game, they should be in a good spot to win with the way that they're just stealing wins right now. I mean, Igor's just on a warpath right now.
It's the series is 2-1 in favor of the Rangers, and Zibanejad, Panarin, and Kreider, neither of them have scored a single goal in the series.
Panarin has 1 point. That's it.
Yeah.
He has one.
And this is why I kind of mentioned, like, when the Rangers got that win in game 2, I mentioned, like, obviously I want to win both game 3 and game 4. But I was saying, like, listen, just go down to Florida, at least split.
Yeah.
But I specifically wanted them to take game 4 because now that they've taken game 3, you don't have as much pressure on you going into game 4. It's not really a must. Obviously, you want to win it, but it's not a must win.
Well, do the Rangers want to win game 4?
I don't know. Do they want to win?
I was the opposite.
But now they take
game 3.
But now they take back home ice. And listen, you win game 4, you take a commanding 3-1 series lead, and you try to end it at the Garden. But I think, like I mentioned before, just go focus. Go in game 4 now. Go in game 4.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wanted the opposite. If they were going to split, I wanted them to win this one just because then they don't have that pressure of winning game 4. But it's like, now I feel like they do have pressure either way. Like, this is the best possible outcome. They played horrendous and won this game 3 because Laviolette's not going to take that performance at all. He's not going to be happy and let them play that way 2 games in a row. So this was probably the best possible outcome. You win an ugly game 3. Now you're in a spot where you still have pressure in game 4 to be better, because if not, you're going to get your ass beat if you play like this again. So win game 4, and now it's your series at that point.
The Rangers defenders, like the passes, it went back to how they were in game 1. Like they couldn't make a breakout pass. It was so frustrating to watch. Defender after defender turn it over time and time again. It was so frustrating. And then again, the power play couldn't get it going. You could complain however you want about the calls favoring Florida, but the 2 opportunities the Rangers got, at least one of them has to go in.
Well, one thing I always say, guys, the other guys get paid too. And Florida had their forecheck going incredible. Now, the one thing the Rangers did is they kind of went to a 3-man regroup for a little bit, and that was working. It alleviated some pressure off the defense every time they had the regroup. But, I mean, every time Artemi Panarin gets the puck, he's got 2 guys on him. One guy takes him on the body. The second guy goes and gets the puck. I mean, and it's just been like clockwork for them. And in game 2, him and Zibanejad were both guilty of this. They tried to get to the middle for every one of the shots. By the time they got to the middle, lane's closed, shot block. This time around, he's pressing. He's pressing to get the puck through. He's got to start shooting from different angles. Not every shot's going to be right in the middle of the slot on a tee like it was. This is a little bit before all your times, but Blades of Steel back on the NES. So,
yeah, definitely don't know that. I'm too young. Big goal by Wennberg, though. I was called. I don't know if you guys saw my show yesterday, but I was calling him out. I was saying like Alex Wennberg, more like Alex, when are you going to score at Goldberg? And then today it's Alex, when you need me the most. And he got the perfect. So that credit someone who commented on Twitter when I posted that. That's all that person. So like, man.
All right.
The third line though came in big at the end.
I got to tee this one up for the 2 boys down at the bottom. Matt, we'll start with you. Jacob Trouba, go.
I think every single curse word that has been written and invented in any language possible, whether it be Latin, English, Spanish, I managed to call him those words today. Jesus Christ. I am convinced this guy plays against the Rangers. He is so bad. Oh my God. It felt so, and I mentioned this before to you, Mark, this felt so almost an exact carbon copy of game 3 versus Tampa.
Yeah.
Almost. Thank God Wennberg got that goal, because I was even thinking it to myself. I'm like, if the Rangers lose this game and they lose this series, we will look back at that period specifically, and we will say that was the turning point of the series. That's where they lost it. Thank God they managed to pull it up. They managed to pull it out. But I am praying to Peter Laviolette, you have to split up Keandre and Trouba. I am asking you, please do it. This performance from those two specifically, because listen, the whole team wasn't good, right? But those two specifically, this was 10 times worse than the performance that Keandre and Schneider had against Game 5 against the Hurricanes. And they both got split up after that game. There is no way Labby as a coach can look at it and say we can afford to keep these guys. We can afford to keep these two guys together. They have to split them up. I'm sorry, Trouba's minutes have to be sheltered.
Yeah.
The comment from Mikey Red FL is hilarious.
Which one?
Trouba is useless.
Useless as sits on a ball.
Yeah, if we're gonna quote Philk and switch it a bit, Trouba was dog shit. He was dog shit tonight. There's no way around it. And like Matt said, they need to split that pair up because with Keandre too, like I'm noticing him play. He plays so much more poorly for some reason playing next to Trouba. I don't know if it's because, he's watching Trouba and thinking I could make the same plays where I'm going around chasing guys, or if it's because of the fact that he's trying to cover for Trouba, or a little bit of both. But it's hurting Miller's game too. Like, yeah, and somebody said, Steve S., Miller was terrible too. They were both just terrible as a pair, and I don't know why they continue to trot those two out there together when it worked the majority of that Carolina series, having them split up. There was no reason to go back to the pair at all. There was zero reason. It's time for a change, and I would go as far to say still that I would even be okay if they're not going to play, because people want Rempe out. I still would play him right now, but if we're going to make the argument to have Rempe out, go 11-7 then, because I think Zach Jones still would be so useful in this series, but he's never going to take over any of the defenseman spot, even Gustafsson, so that's just unrealistic to ask for. What's realistic is to maybe ask for an 11-7 game, and at most, if you could get that, then you could switch things up with, pairing Trouba with Jones, and maybe that could help Trouba out, getting his minutes sheltered there, and putting Jones maybe on the power play too to get that going, because things need to change with that.
Well, I would make the argument that, just real quick before Mark continues, about Jones, is it's not that he should play. I think at this point, he needs to play.
Yeah.
Look at Florida's forecheck and all the trouble that the Rangers have breaking the puck out. It is so frustrating to watch. I said it before. Zach Jones gives you an element of skating, speed, and accurate passes. Like, he needs to play. I don't know how you find a way to get him in there. I know there's a couple banged up bodies out there, but you got to put him in.
Just to say, my target defenseman, Eric Gustafsson, he was assisted on the game winner, but he was also the guy that left Alexander Barkov completely unchecked in front of Igor Shesterkin for the third goal.
No, it was Trocheck.
It was Trocheck,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was true.
It was Trocheck. It wasn't.
It was Trocheck.
Trocheck missed
That was
it.
Trocheck in front of the net. Excuse me.
Oh, well, you know what?
Granted,
I guess
did have Miller chasing, though, on the complete opposite side of where he should have been, but still, that was Trocheck's guy there.
Well, we might get a Zach Jones call if they decide to potentially suspend Jacob Trouba. Let me turn it over to the president of the Jacob Trouba fan club, our own Mr. John Folkowski.
Oh well, that isn't setting complete sarcasm. I like this comment from Joe Graves here. Jones isn't a physical guy, but he glues his body to the guy's marking. It is true. He plays more physical than his size and his style of play would give you. But what they need to do is they need to insert him into this lineup because they are having so much trouble. One, they dump the puck in. Florida's it's literally like Major League where Parkman calls for the number one and Vaughn is like, okay, I'll give you number one. You hit it, you rename it. And he absolutely creams it the first time around. And then they are literally, the Rangers are all, just basically being like, okay, you want to continue to dump the puck. Okay. And yeah. And this right here is it. It's Torrey Krug coming in all over again. And that could really do some damage to them because Jones is great at one thing. And I think he may be better than any Ranger defenseman at puck retrieval. It's puck retrieval, moving the puck into the zone, and that's what they need against this team. They don't. It's not enough with the physical crap. The physical crap is not why they lost game one. It's not any of that. It's execution because they can't break out of the zone properly. All the passes are off. It turns into a dump in. The defenders hold on to the puck too long because they're indecisive with it. Jones is decisive, and he's probably more decisive than any defenseman we have. Maybe sans Fox if Fox wasn't hurt. So I need Zach Jones in this lineup. I really do. I really think it would help turn things around. And I know I shouldn't be saying this up 2-1, but 2 games right down to the wire that went to overtime, and it required 2 overtime winners. You can really put Florida on their heels by making an adjustment. Because Paul Maurice, listen, he made the adjustment that Carolina made. He followed their adjustment. And now it's time for Peter Laviolette to throw a wrench in there and really confuse the shit out of Paul Maurice. Yeah, I think that would be one of the things that I would do, would be to bring in Zach Jones.
You know what Jones also brings into the lineup? He brings composure. And if you notice, like through games 1 and like game 1 and game 3 specifically, because the breakouts were a bit better in game 2, but it seemed like even before, even Carolina, even Florida, even threw hits on our D guys and pressured them, it still felt like our D guys were still like scared to make that play because they were anticipating those big hits and that forecheck coming. If you have a guy back there that's cool and composed on the puck, he can make those quick plays. Yeah. Because if you notice how many times like there's not even guys around, like whether that be Rangers defensemen or forwards, and they'll be scared to make a play and then they ice it, even though there's no one around them and they can make a play. So if you bring in a guy like Zach Jones who brings that composure, you'll see the breakouts improve by a lot. Just from that one guy specifically.
And I want to piggyback off what I think Chris said in the comments. It's a bit further up that going 11-7 could allow you to give guys like Adam Fox a little bit of a breather, who's clearly playing hurt. And if anyone else is playing banged up, which I'm sure there is because everyone is this time of year, you have the opportunity to rotate your defensemen a bit better and give guys more leeway with that. And like I said before, too, you could give Jones power play minutes. And I think that this power play needs an adjustment there because a lot of the issue with the power play is coming from the point because they're trying to force passes at the point. Florida keeps closing off the lane and they continue to make that pass across because for whatever reason, they're deciding to be stationary instead, especially Panarin, who's just hanging on the boards way too much.
Nailed it. That's the thing. I said on Twitter is that the power play needs to be a major adjustment made for the power play. I think that Laviolette and Housley need to do something with it. What I would love to see Jones come in the lineup and go right on the power play because Fox's biggest strength on the power play is being able to walk the line and make that pass. He can't do that right now. You put in Jones, who can walk the line and can make those passes and has an even better shot than Fox does, honestly. You could really make that adjustment that brings back that power play. And if this power play had maybe 2 goals in this series, you're maybe looking at a 3-0 series lead right now.
Yep.
So, it really, special teams has got to be the difference. And I know the 2 power play goals today that Florida scored were complete flukes. I mean, they were literally both bounces off Ranger players, especially the second one. But it's you gotta win that special teams battle. And if this power play gets going, then who's stopping them?
On top of that, with the power play, I would like to see, especially if they did do that with Jones, I think you could balance things out by putting Fox on the second unit. And then I would like to see this change. It's never going to happen where you put Panarin on that second unit and put Lafreniere on the first unit, especially with the way he's been playing. And I think that could open things up for power play 1. And that can make power play 2 potentially even more of a threat, having 2 like legitimate units out there.
Yeah.
Someone said that Gustafsson was better on power play 1 at this point. He was moving the puck pretty smoothly. That's what Dave Maloney pointed out in game 2, that whenever Gustafsson was out there, when Fox went off for a change, the puck moved around a lot smoother and they were able to get shots to the net. But
he
I
also
have a
keeps
question.
hitting guys in their feet and their shins. I wouldn't put him on there.
I don't like whatever. I'll walk back that point a little bit. But my question for you guys Evan brought up like the D-to-D passes, like on the blue line, on the power play specifically, but the Rangers there's like a hot zone in the middle of the ice on the blue line where they just like to gravitate towards, and they keep turning the puck over
Oh, it's
there.
both.
It's
Oh,
like
yeah,
the
it's definitely
worst.
both.
It's like the worst spot to be. Why do they keep doing that? Why can't they just cycle it down low?
You know what? You saw it. The one power play that they actually generated any chances on was the one where everybody was moving their feet and changing positions. And the fact that you have a guy on there that can't really move right now, and I hate to say this because I love Adam Fox. I love what he does for this team. I really do. And I understand that he's playing on a bad night, but he is not helping that power play out right now by being on there. It's you cannot have this. The mismatch in shot attempts is a whole nother story. That's just ridiculous. But I mean, you cannot have that type of lack of movement on a power play. It makes that power play so much more predictable and so much easier to kill off. And to me, the adjustment has to be made. Like we're past the point of being like, okay, give them another chance, They'll get it done. They'll get out of this funk. No, there needs to be an adjustment made now.
Yeah.
And you brought it up, like the off the puck movement on the power play. I mean, prime example, you look at the best power play so far in the playoffs, the Edmonton Oilers. All they do is move off the puck on that power play. Like pretty much the only guy who doesn't do it was Zach Hyman. He parks his ass in front of the net.
That's
but
it.
If you look, McDavid, Draisaitl, Bouchard, Nugent Hopkins, they're all moving around. And it's like when they get to the exact position where Draisaitl's on that goal line and McDavid's just able to wrist it over to him, it's a goal. Off the puck movement it's so you need it. I mean, even you look at multiple like power play goals this year. I mean, like if you guys recall back to the game in Boston when the Rangers played the Bruins, and that on that overtime goal with Mika and Trocheck, they interchanged. Trocheck was able to get into the slot wide open. Mika fed it to him, goal. It's that simple.
But what are they going to do, though? Like, who are they going to take out on defense? Like, I know the obvious culprit is Struva, but, that's not happening
It's
unless
not
it's a
happening.
suspension.
No.
And they're not, like, it's almost like Fox is a better bet for Laviolette to take out at this point because we know for sure he's not healthy.
That's why I'm saying 11-7 is the most realistic thing to ask for at this point.
Yeah. You would who would you take out forward wise? Rempe?
I would want Rosovic out, but
Rosovic is so bad. He's awful.
He's terrible.
Oh my! I didn't pay as much attention to him the first two games, but today it was so bad.
Yeah,
I didn't get to see this. Why did they recall the double minor?
Because it was Mika's stick that hit him in the face.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I thought they were getting a double minor for sure there. I was like, what happened? And then I realized they were even, and then they got the friggin' penalty. And I was like, are you kidding me? Yeah, Rosovic has been just terrible away from the puck. Like,
Even
he's
with
a guy
the puck,
that
he
needs
gets knocked off so easily.
There's no fight in this guy. There's none. I don't understand how this guy hasn't been sat yet.
It was even worse when he tried to walk the line in the third period.
Yeah. And then he just it's one weak play after another with him.
That was dangerous.
It's gotta stop. It's like I don't understand how you need this much of a kick in the ass to get yourself to start playing like a man come playoff time. You're in the Eastern Conference Finals. Like I you know what? Honestly, I never understood what the problem was with Rosovic. Now I understand it. I don't think this guy will ever understand it. Even if they win, I don't think he'll ever understand it because some guys have that in them and he just doesn't.
No.
I would even replace him with Wheeler.
I brought this up before.
This is my former roommates, but that was what her daughter used to call me.
Oh, okay. I was wondering what the hell that was. Kark.
No, but I brought this up before, and like David Wood's comment, like I mentioned this after game one, like especially when that third line was so ineffective. And now that you're seeing, like, I know Wennberg scored today, but overall, like his goal scoring ability since coming over the Rangers hasn't been there whatsoever. but especially now with Cock and Cooley on that third line, like you're not even enough scoring. It's like why? It's not going to happen, but why not throw Offman in there for a game, just to see? And I know
It's not going to happen. It's not happening.
I think Edstrom's the guy that should be realistic to ask for. Like, I don't see why they don't just take a look at and see what they could do with him, especially because that game they did play against Florida when they had that fourth line of Brodzinski, Settering, Rempe, and Edstrom, that line was really good for them. So I don't see why they don't try that.
How did you guys feel about Kakko today? I thought he was okay. He lifted the stick on the overtime goal. Really subtle, but it got the
he
point.
was a little noticeable. I don't.
I mean, I'd still rather him in over Roslovic. I'll say that.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But they just won't bench him because he's a trade deadline acquisition and they want speed. They need speed. I get it, but it's just he needs to be held accountable for his play away from puck. Like, there has to be some sort of accountability for this guy, and there's just been nothing so far. Is that a cat in the background, Evan?
Cat E.
Yes, it is.
Oh.
Well, guys, let's go to something a little bit more positive because we haven't talked about it that much.
Yeah.
But Alexei Lafreniere tonight, he had the 2 goals. First off, by the way, that backhander on the first one, chef's kiss. And the Rangers were generating more odd man rushes than Florida for most of the series anyway. But that second rush, when he goes in, puts it between his legs, a la Detroit a couple years ago.
I know what comment you're laughing at.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Now you see what comment that is. Kitty D'Angelo. But I mean, you guys gotta love that one. Whoever wants to start raving about Lafreniere on that play.
I didn't think. I thought he lost control of the puck, but then when I saw it went in, I'm like, holy shit! He just pulled that off. I did not expect that. He beat everybody. That was unreal. That was Datsukian.
I will say it right now, and I wish Johnny Lazarus was in a chat because I know he would just go crazy for this. But we are watching a superstar in the making. Like, this kid fucking has it. He has it. He is him. That dog is in him. Like, this is why he captained Rimouski. He captained the Canadian World Junior U20 team to a gold medal. This is just, he's incredible.
Keep playing softball, kid. Keep playing softball.
Yeah. Work on your game, kid. Work on your game, kid.
Who was I? This guy's becoming the franchise player that we thought. He's becoming even better than that. An extension has to get done this offseason. There is no option. You have to get that deal done because he's going to be a point per game guy next year. I'm willing to pencil that in. You got to extend him before he does that because he's going to ask for a lot of money.
Lafrenchise.
Yeah, Lafrenchise is more like it. It's just when you and I say it with Wyatt Johnston too because you could just see it unfold, like just the confidence in each play that they make. They're just things that he didn't do in previous seasons that not only is he doing now, but he's doing them 10 times better than you would expect him to do. Stefan Dubé, I love you. Whatever you did with him in the offseason, continue to do it. That's it. And the great ones always find that way to get better and better themselves constantly and find something new. Crosby, all those guys, Gretzky, Messier, they found things to continue to work on and make themselves better. Lafreniere is, to me, I just see that drive in him, and he's going to be this team's franchise player sooner than later.
Yeah,
that backhander was awesome.
Oh, he's disgustingly good.
Sorry, Matt.
No, I was saying, yeah, but like Evan mentioned before, we both been big advocates of it, this season, especially with his breakout. You got to sign him up to an extension this offseason. Because I'm telling you right now, he's going to be a point per game player next year. He will be. And eventually, he's going to hit 100 points. I'm confident in him that one day he'll hit 100 points. Yeah, but I think like you mentioned, this, like what you mentioned, Phil, like how every time play after play, You just see the confidence in him. It's like before in past seasons, like he picks up the puck and you're like, okay, like he's not really going to do anything with it. Every time he picks up the puck now, it's like you got to keep your eye on him because you never know like what he's going to do now. Because it's like he could pull out something special like we saw tonight with the second goal. He's just playing some unbelievable hockey right now, and get the extension done, Chris Drury. Get it done.
Yeah, Bobby, you're not wrong about your comment, but things have changed. He's
the game
better.
3 winner in what series? Oh,
Yeah,
that would be against the Devils. I know who it is, and I guess you guys
I know
do.
who it is. I do.
My dad went to that game.
yeah, it was Matt Ho.
It was Matzo.
Backhander.
Yeah, that was one of his 2 double overtime winners in that series.
Crazy.
Or nothing else but double overtime goals in that series.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny how he was almost non-existent for most of that series aside from those 2 goals.
Yeah.
Like,
So-
Kovalov actually played better without him when he played up with Messier and Graves when Keenan made that adjustment. But Matt Ho just somehow, because he didn't get a ton of ice time later in those games, he was fresh in double overtime in those 2 games and still somehow got both of those goals.
Because Eddie
See, I
Olczyk
don't think-
gave his stick some love.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of guys are kind of throwing some shade or some hate over at Kreider, Zibanejad, and Panarin. They're just being taken out. This is just coaching. They're being taken out.
I need more from Panarin. I'm sorry. You know what?
Yeah,
I give credit to Florida, but Panarin is playing scared hockey right now. I'm sorry. He is.
Yeah, it looked like he had a case of the yips. That shot he had on Bobrovsky, the one that went off like the end of his stick. Like in the regular season, that doesn't happen. That's a hard shot, probably a goal. And then he had like a turnover on the blue line. I don't know if was that the third period.
Yeah, it got blocked out of the zone. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it looked like he didn't feel all that confident in himself there. Like I thought he was going to make something happen there, but
on the power play. Yeah, it was on the power.
Yeah,
play.
you know what I'm talking about though. Yeah, I agree with you. I think we need to see more from Panarin for sure.
This is why I'm saying right now we're seeing Lafreniere take over as the franchise guy. We've seen enough from Panarin in the playoffs to know that nothing's going to change.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
And Zibanejad too. Zibanejad is another one that has size and plays soft for his size. I'm sorry, he need and there are times where we've seen him play physical, and he needs to. Kreider needs to also be more physical. Kreider, for me, and I, it's so frustrating because he can give you that every night, but he just doesn't. And I'm not asking for 3 goals every night. I'm asking for moving your feet. I'm asking you to throw hits. I'm asking you to forecheck the way you used to forecheck.
Yep.
That's it. I'm not asking for the world.
And by the way, I get all the critical saying everything is saying about Panarin, as I couldn't formulate that sentence for a second, guys. But the thing about it is, this is what the other teams are. They're trying to take Panarin out. And right now he's trying to make that perfect shot because he's just not just throwing the puck at the net. And then at other times, if you remember the rush, I want to say it was in the second period where he got fed. He's on the left wing side. He got it and shot it. There was basically nothing on the shot. And it's because he's feeling the pressure. So that is a little bit of a problem. And if they don't have him on the power plays, which they're not getting called any power plays, somehow Florida is the most physical, clean team ever. But, and not that I'm complaining about the officiating. I'm just saying maybe they're missing a couple things, like Aaron Ekblad punching Panarin in the back of the head. So,
yeah, that I don't understand how that was not called. That was just terrible.
I didn't even see that. I just saw people complaining about
third,
that.
Third period, watch again, bottom of the screen.
It really was. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Bennett went in willing, like on his own. I think in the first period on Shesterkin, no call. I think there was a blatant too many men on the ice. Evan knows which one I'm talking about. And I think in the first period as well, it hit the guy's skate as he's making a change. Blatant too many men, not called. Man, there's so many of them in that first period. I've never seen a period that one-sided in calls before. It was insane.
The amount of diving from Florida too that they were calling at times, it was ridiculous. Like that Kachuk penalty, like, I know we were all pissed off at Trouba and that play shouldn't have happened to begin with, but Kachuk dove entirely on that play.
Kachuk's a loser. He's a fucking loser.
Or like
He's such a little bitch.
Or like the penalty in Game 2 on Barkley Goodrow.
Oh,
that was so
stupid.
That was horrible.
So
horrible.
Stupid.
Did anyone see? I don't remember exactly when it was. I think it was at some point in the third where like Verhaeghe clearly dove, like nobody was near the play, and it looked like he was trying to draw a penalty there. Just ridiculous. It couldn't have been more obvious.
How many guys you have with the name NYR for life in your chat? Like, is this all just the same person?
There's a good amount.
Yeah, there's quite a few of them. It's kind of hard to keep up sometimes.
Oh, I love it. No, I'm not roasting these guys.
But there's only one Mike NYR for life.
Yeah.
And he holds a special place.
Linda going crazy on Facebook.
It's
that's a bot.
That's a bot. Okay, right?
No, it was
you got
podcast girl.
No. That's definitely a bot.
Okay, good, because I thought it was a bot too. But guys, wait a minute. It wasn't Derek Brassard a trade deadline acquisition? I mean, if you want to say the same
not
trade
the same
deadline,
season.
I'm just saying. Yeah, because he was trade deadline in 2013 and then had the OT winner in 2014.
Yeah. That was the first instance of Dave Maloney stepping on a radio guy's call. I'm pretty sure.
I didn't even get to hear the call because I was at a barbecue and I was just watching on my phone. But like,
no steppage.
Oh my god.
No steppage.
I could imagine. Yeah, maybe Cassian should have knocked his brains around a little bit. Yeah, he's a little rat. I can't stand him. Great player, but he was an absolute rat.
Dmitry Filipovich posted something. Kachuk at all strengths was on the ice for 56 shot attempts for, 6 against. You know how many goals were scored? 2 goals came against when he was on the ice of those 6 attempts that Rangers had. And he was on the ice for 3. 3 goals for.
I love it. I hope to God they beat him so I could see him cry.
Just because I'm reading the comments, though, about embellishments, I wanted to bring up one more that bothered me. When Reinhart embellished that play on the penalty and they blew the whistle dead, he should not be allowed on the ice after that. He should have to be on the bench for the rest of the power play.
Well, he was on the bench. They dropped the puck. He went right off. Rodriguez.
That's why I was saying he should have to be on the bench for the rest of the power play.
But what's even worse about that, Evan, is they negated a 4-on-2. And the Rangers are more deadly right now shorthanded in the playoffs than they are on the power play. And you mean to tell me, like, come on. No, Willie, he's saying he shouldn't have been allowed back on, but
yeah.
Like, all right, so like how is it that if you're injured, you're back on the ice? You shouldn't have been.
Joe Shen is asking, is John Phil the new Artemi Panarin looking good?
This is an old thing, man. You're behind on the times. Sorry, but you're way behind on the times there, buddy.
Panarin was the one who took inspiration from Phil.
Yeah. I've been doing this longer than Panarin has. I'll tell you that right now.
We have an admission of a bot right here.
Yeah. Blake Wheeler's burner account. Gotta love that.
What do you guys think if Blake Wheeler sees the ice in this series or even
as long as it's on the bottom 6? I don't want him on the top line.
Yeah, I don't know how he works really with the top line.
It
it doesn't seem like there's any real answer. Like the only answer I would have said for the top line, actually, crazy enough, would have been Jimmy Vesey because he would have been in there. He would have been the guy to go in and forecheck for a lot of those pucks and go win those battles. But they don't really have like an answer there. That's why you needed a guy like Vetrano over Roslovic.
Didn't Wheeler start his career as like a 3rd or 4th liner with Boston?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember, like in that cup run, he was on that team, right?
No, he got traded.
Yeah,
Rich
Peverly.
Oh, okay. So he wasn't on the 2011 cup winning team. Okay.
Yeah. John D. Lee.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it.
I wouldn't even look I'm seeing the comments. I wouldn't even look at entertaining Blake Wheeler. He would not fit well in this series at all.
Wheeler started playing in like 1778.
That's great. Leo.
I wouldn't even
Good one.
entertain him at all.
1778.
Well,
Blake-
as my post tomorrow is going to be about this. This series is sort of like the movie Snatch, where Brad Pitt's getting beaten up the entire time by a bare knuckle boxer and just makes a dodge, one punches a guy, and then that's it. That's sort of what it's been. Florida has been throwing everything they can, and you know what? The Rangers, they get the haymaker in.
Every penalty call in this entire playoffs on Rempe has been weak. It's been nothing but officials targeting.
Yeah.
They find a young kid who developed a reputation because he's 6'8", and if he hits anybody, he's automatically basically at their head at a disadvantage. What is he supposed to do? Cut his legs off and play 2 feet shorter? Like, I don't understand it. Like, it's blatant targeting, and
Mostly
I
Kelly.
hate it.
By the way, Phil, that's the reason why that whistle was blown on Reinhardt, because he collided with Trouba. If he collides with Miller, that puck ain't getting stopped. They're going to be throwing down.
Yeah,
It's
Blake
mostly
Wheeler's-
Kelly, I feel like, targeting Rempe too. It's like every time this guy's officiating a game.
Yeah, wasn't
Sutherland needs to be fired, and he
He's
yelled
terrible.
at him. And Brooks called for him to be banned from Ranger games. He should be.
He's
There
Angel
is
Hernandez
no
on
way in
skates.
hell.
I forgot who said it on Twitter, but it's so true. He's Angel on skates.
It's
I
ridiculous.
saw that
because
too. Yeah, I don't know who said it.
How the hell can he just do that to a player, treat a player like that, and he's still in this series? Like, fire him into the fucking sun out of a cannon.
With Nemeth.
With
and
Nemeth.
Trouba.
Like, I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of this guy getting chance after chance in big games when he is one of the most incompetent mongrel idiots I have ever seen in my life. Like, this guy definitely grew up huffing fucking paint thinners and eating glue and paint chips. And this guy still gets the call games. Go retire, you stupid hack.
By the way, guys, I'm going to go about another 10 more minutes for me.
All right.
You guys could keep going. I'll just let
Yeah.
you know.
I actually have to get going. That was a great rant to go out on. But anyways, thanks for having me on the show. Go Rangers. Let's get that big game 4 win. I know I asked for a split, but let's take it to them. Let's get that game 4 win. Let's do
We'll
it.
see if they do that. After all, the last time they played the Panthers, they lost the first game 3-0, and they won the next 4.
All right, let's do it again. All right, I'll see you guys. Thank you.
Gandhi.
Gandhi.
Exit day.
Exit day. Oh, man.
Get Sutherland on the podcast.
Yeah, no, fuck off.
No. We are working on getting Dave Jackson in at some point. So
Oh, that's a good.
I mean, Dave Jackson's nice enough. At least he like has like some of his explanations I feel like are BS at some point, but like whatever at this point. It's every series. It's Rangers versus the refs and whoever the hell they have to face. Like it's tiring. It's annoying and it's blatant. It's not even close. Like they had O'Rourke in game 1, and what were the penalty calls in game 1? Heavily in Florida's favor.
well, you got to say with this one, yeah, it sounds like it's worse than what it is. There is a lot of excitement, but let's be honest, Rangers stole this one tonight.
Yeah, they absolutely stole that game. Like, I'm not telling anybody they shouldn't be excited, but like, there's a lot to unpack from this. There is, and I don't understand how that pairing is still together. They're not good. They've shown it. They continue to show it in the playoffs. They were better away from each other, and they bring them back, and now they keep them back. Like, how?
I don't get it.
Guys, you were saying
How did you
that
guys-
the Rangers were sitting back today. I think that it was Florida imposing their will, but let's go with you, Matt. What do you think first? Because I saw you and Evan, both of you guys said, don't sit back.
Yeah, I don't know. And like we've seen it kind of like throughout the regular season, even a bit. Like even though they've been a bit better, like towards the end of the season and going into the first couple weeks of the playoffs, they sit back for me too much, and it's like we saw it in Game 5, and we saw it today, in today's game. I just feel like you get the big 2 goals on the penalty kill to end that period, and it's like and Florida's in their building. That building's loud. Just play off the momentum of getting those 2 big goals. Don't sit back, because we know it's going to happen, and again it happened. I feel like if the Rangers play their game, they'll be fine and they can beat anybody. But as soon as they go into their shell and just start trying to rely on Igor to bail them out and get them through a game, it just doesn't work. And even I've said it multiple times. Like, there's a difference between playing conservative and playing structured, because you can still play conservative and structured and keep Florida to the outside. We saw it earlier, like in Game 1, prime example against the Hurricanes. The Rangers were playing aggressive, but they were also playing really structured to the point where Carolina wasn't really getting anything until the end of the game, where they really just started piling on pressure. Mm-hmm. I feel like I said before, if the Rangers just play structured and they don't sit back, then they can win. But once they start, playing conservative and sitting back, it's going to bite them in the ass, and it did tonight. Fortunately, though, like we said earlier, they got the win.
And you're right. There was plenty of structure, I thought, in Game 2. I thought they were keeping them the outside for the most part of the game. There were a couple really good chances for Florida, but Ev, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree that there's too much of it with them sitting back, and it's just like Matt said, if you want to play conservative, there's a way to do it, and they've done it a couple times this season, which is also what's confusing, where they're taking the chances as they come, and they're playing the game the right way in terms of being conservative, but they're inviting too much pressure, and that's what caused Florida to get all those chances. Like, as much as we talk about how Florida outplayed them, a lot of that was in the third period. Like, don't get me wrong, they didn't start off the game great, and same with the second, but I would say the second half of the first period and the second half of the second, the game was fairly even. The Rangers did a better job of playing their game, but the third period, 2-goal lead, sit back way too much, and that's why we saw Florida double them pretty much in shot attempts, if not tripled.
It was between doubling and tripling. They had almost 100 shot attempts for the game. I think it was 97 was the number. I think the Rangers
97, yeah.
I think the Rangers
36.
may have had 45, if that.
Yeah.
It just you can't. It's not sustainable. It's not and I'm very happy about the win. Don't get me wrong, but they've got to do so much better than that. And like I said, I know people are sitting here saying, "Oh, well," even on people on Twitter are like, "Oh, can't put Jones in. Jones can't handle that physicality." Okay, he can't clear the guys in front of the net. Okay, you know what he can do? He can retrieve the puck better than any of our defensemen and move the puck up the ice quicker. And that doesn't allow Florida to set up and forecheck and cycle and put guys in front of the net. And that's how you neutralize that team.
Yeah, play defense by keeping the puck away.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Puck possession is the best form of defense.
Yeah. And the Detroit Red Wings from about 1992 to 2011 or 12 proved that. For 20 years, that team did nothing but possess the puck. And they won, 4 championships in that span? It's all you need to know. Just
as Rob G is saying right here, message from one of his friends, almost as many New York fans at the game as Florida fans. Definitely not in the lower bowl, but there was a lot of Ranger fans there.
Oh, yeah. And it's Florida. So many New Yorkers are in Florida.
Yeah. But, guys, I'm going to sign off right here from me. Go right ahead. Keep on talking. I will see you guys later.
Yep, take care.
All right. Later, Mark.
He's gonna go cook up some fresh layups for Wednesday's show.
Yeah, I was gonna say he'll do a little bit of that. We'll probably go for like another, I would say like 10 or so minutes, but
Yeah, I got 10 more in me at most.
yeah, it's just you need to find a way to neutralize that. And Carolina started doing it last series, and it started giving the Rangers fits. And the Rangers found a better way because Carolina, what they did that Florida is not doing and will not do is they will not pass up lanes to go to the middle of the ice. That's Florida's entire game plan, is to get that forecheck going, confuse the defenders, get them going back and forth, get the switches, get the picks, get the reversals, and get players off the other defensemen and get to the middle and get those chances. Carolina would pass up on those lanes. Like, there's various clips you could probably look up throughout that entire series of someone like Seth Jarvis not taking the puck to the middle, or Jordan Stahl not taking the puck to the middle because and settling for an outside chance. Florida's going to do that, and if you can stop them from even getting the puck behind the defense, or just getting the puck quick and making that first pass out and making it that much of a better pass, you can beat this team. You can catch them in transition, and you can catch them with their pants down. They are so prone to giving up on man rushes. They really are. It just, the first pass needs to be that much better, and their retrievals need to be that much quicker. They need to have more urgency in moving their feet and getting to these pucks.
I actually got to head out now, so appreciate you having me on again.
No problem. Thank you guys for doing this. I appreciate it. I wish I could have gotten on a little earlier, but I was trying to help clean up the party that I was at. But you know what? I think we're going to cut it here, actually, because it's just going to be me and Matt at that point. I really wasn't going to stay on that much longer anyway. So, but thank you all for joining us. I know that the mood doesn't match the score, but it's just like, that's like a sweat off the brow type of win, because they really could have lost that game. They really could have lost that game. So
all I'll say is this thing, the rally bucket, it works.
It fucking works.
It works.
It just works.
It works.
So, but yeah, I mean, if you can take this next game, you go back to MFG up 3-1 with a chance to close out that series. Oh man. If they could close out that series in 5 games and then have Dallas and Edmonton just go 7 and Edmonton wins it. Oh man.
You know what? I'm a bit surprised that Edmonton's not that they couldn't keep up with them, but I just thought Dallas overmatched them. Edmonton, they're keeping up with Dallas pretty well. They're actually playing a very well-structured series.
I was just going to say they're defending better than I've ever seen them defend as a team in the last, I would say, 10 years or so, going back to McDavid's debut in this league. I've never seen them defend this well. The last Edmonton team that defended this well went to the Stanley Cup Finals, and that was 2006.
Who did they lose to?
The Carolina Hurricanes,
coached by
Peter Laviolette. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, Mr. Game 7 and Justin Williams there, but
with the empty netter.
Yeah, but yeah, well, we'll see what happens. But they have a chance Tuesday to really put a stranglehold on this series. So, Mark is going to ask us one question before we go. Who would you want to see come out of the West? The deepest team in the NHL, or the game's best player finally in the finals? I'd have to say Edmonton, because I think the Rangers have a massive advantage in net when it comes to Igor Shesterkin over Stuart Skinner. And yeah, McDavid is also hurt right now. He's clearly hurt.
Yeah, I mentioned this before when I was talking with Marc behind the scenes, but listen, like I said, it's the Final Four. Both teams are here for a reason. You don't fluke your way to a conference final.
No,
it doesn't happen. But I will say this though: if I were who the Rangers matchup better against, I would say Edmonton. Just because, like you said, the matchup in net, and I also think that maybe Edmonton doesn't play that much of a physical game compared to Dallas. So I think the series would be a little more open. So I think that would maybe benefit our star players a bit more.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that the Rangers would have a better time transitioning out of the zone against Edmonton than they would Dallas. I mean, the one thing I will say is that some of Edmonton's depth is actually playing really well. Like Fogel's making a difference. McLeod's making a difference. Derek Ryan's making a difference.
Holloway, he's playing well.
Yeah, Holloway's starting to show why he was a first round pick. So, but yeah, it would be pretty hockey, as Diane says here. I would definitely agree with this. But again, thank you all for joining us. We appreciate that. Got to say a big thanks to the boys at Rangers Central, Matt and Evan, and then Joey D and Ice Cold Takes. Check all those guys out. They all do their own content. They all put up great stuff. Support the guys. Support everybody here, and Rangers YouTube hockey here. So let everybody know, and like, share, and subscribe to all three of our channels. Spread the word. Tell everybody. You got somebody that you don't talk to too much that that's a hockey fan. Hey, throw it out there. Let them know. So, Alex Wennberg, yeah, we'll leave on that note, but definitely a big win. So, thank you all. Appreciate it. Have a good night, and let's go Rangers.